And we are live on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Lisa McInnes with Lisa McInnes Mortgages, Verico Paragon Mortgage Inc., and Employee of the Month, Frankie Edgar. My disclaimer, if they start barking, I apologize. It's one of those things working from home where the dogs bark when a leaf goes by the window. I'm so excited to have Aly Remtulla. Did I say that? Did I get it?
You got it.
Woo, from FCT. FCT is a title insurance company. He's going to educate us on everything title insurance. And I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking some time to do a video with me. I know this is, sorry, as I get a notification popping up. I know it's a busy time and everybody's kind of going here, there, and everywhere online, of course. So really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
And thanks for having me. Excited to join you here today.
Yeah, so that's so great. So I know you were saying that you were going to do a disclaimer too.
Yeah, I also have the same disclaimer as you. I have a dog that may bark and I have a baby in the background that might cry, but I guess that's the joys of working from home in this COVID environment. And I guess the only other disclaimer is everything that I share with you today, of course, is subject to change in case someone's viewing this video 5 or 10 years down the road. So just a disclaimer on that as well.
Oh, great. So now I'm going to have to do that disclaimer every time because in our industry, it seems like we blink and things change.
Oh, of course, you're right. Things change so frequently.
Oh, that's awesome. That's hilarious. I love that you said that though. That's perfect. Okay, so let's start off with who FCT is and what your role is with FCT and what their purpose is.
Sure. So my name again, Aly Remtulla. I am the Business Development Manager for Residential Lending Solutions for Northern Alberta, Northern Saskatchewan. FCT, First Canadian Title, is the largest title insurance company in Canada. And we were actually pioneers in the title insurance industry here in Canada and have since grown to offer a wide variety of products and services, primarily geared towards 3 channels. So we have our commercial solutions channel, which is targeted towards the commercial real estate industry, our residential solutions channel, which are programs and services for our realtors and our lawyers. And finally, we have our residential lending solutions, which are programs and services for our lenders and our mortgage brokers, such as the wonderful Lisa McInnes. So although we operate under 3 umbrellas, we are still one company with the mission of making transactions simple and secure. And at the heart of that is title insurance. But what is title insurance? Title insurance is an insurance policy, obviously, that covers losses arising from issues that existed at the date of policy. So unlike traditional insurances that cover future events, title insurance, for the most part, protects from past events. So this can include title issues such as title defects, encumbrances, and liens, off-title issues such as lack of legal access, non-compliance with zoning regulations, and lack of building permits, and transactional issues such as title fraud and survey issues. It also uniquely includes the duty to defend, which means we actually pay for all legal costs associated with ensuring that that title is returned to its respective owner in a clean state and manner. So we're really here to defend the owner's interest in that property. It's really important to also note that we offer 2 types of policies, a lender policy and a homeowner policy, and that these 2 policies are completely separate from each other. So I think that in a nutshell is who FCT is and what our purpose is.
Perfect. Okay, so and I'm glad you again you're already ahead of the ball here because I was going to ask a lot of times people ask me, so what is a lender policy? Why are lenders requiring this on a mortgage transaction? So maybe you
So
can explain that part.
sure. So FCT is, we have a role in mortgage transactions, and our role in mortgage transactions is twofold. So if it's a purchase transaction, then FCT's role is really focused around title insurance, both that lender policy and the homeowner policy. So the lender policy can be used to help mitigate some of the risks associated with that mortgage approval. So it essentially helps get that mortgage approved. The homeowner policy on the opposite side is there to protect the ownership of that home and shield the homeowner from any title impacting secrets that may exist behind the walls. Now, further to that, if we're considering a refinance or a transfer transaction, then FCT's role is slightly different. We work with the lender and help facilitate the closing of that transaction. So this would include completing all necessary searches, obtaining payout statements, document preparation and signing of those documents, disbursements and payouts, and then registration and discharge of mortgages. So that's really what our role looks like in the transaction based on whether if it's a purchase or if it's a refi transfer.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Um, so tell me a little bit about the homeowner's policy then. What does the homeowner policy look like and who does it benefit?
Absolutely. So, as previously mentioned, it's really important to note that we offer two types of policies. And I repeat this over and over and over again. There's a lender policy and a homeowner policy, and they are completely separate from each other. So, many lenders, again, mandate that that lender title insurance policy is in place as a condition of approval of the mortgage. And there is a misconception out there that that lender policy covers or protects the homeowner or that borrower. And this lender policy 100% absolutely does not cover the homeowner in any way, shape, or form. Again, that lender policy does not cover the homeowner in any way, shape, or form. That lender policy is strictly for the lender. For a homeowner to have coverage, they need to actually add on that homeowner component themselves when closing the purchase transaction with their lawyer. Anytime after the purchase is closed, homeowners can still add on a policy for themselves, but they would just need to contact FCT directly in order to do that. So the homeowner policy specifically has 33 areas of coverage for that homeowner. And notably, some of the coverage points include work orders, tax and utility arrears, unknown survey defects, lack of building permits, again, both interior and exterior, encroachments, and fraud, just to name a few. And those are probably the most common areas that we see claims coming from. Considering that Alberta is actually the second riskiest province after Ontario in terms of number of claims and the dollar amounts of claims, it's really important that homeowners consider obtaining a policy for that peace of mind and security. So to put some things into perspective here, the average homeowner claim in Alberta is approximately $23,000, and the average fraud claim is $125,000. So I would also like to point out that approximately 75 to 80% of our claims are related to a lack of building permits. So it's even more pressing that if someone is looking at purchasing a pre-owned home that maybe has some renovations done to it or some updating that was done to it, getting a homeowner policy may be in your best interest to protect you against any of those secrets that might exist behind the walls.
That's okay. Those numbers were mind blowing. I know in past presentations I've heard them, but every time I hear them, I'm just shocked, right? So, can you give an example or two, even of different types of recent claims that have come through for the homeowner policy?
Sure, absolutely. There's two claims that I love to share because they are Alberta specific. Now, I don't know how recent they are, so you can't quote me if they're like totally recent, but
Sure.
I do like to share them because it really shows you how a homeowner title insurance policy really benefits the homeowner. So the first example is in regards to a lack of a building permit. So this one actually comes from Calgary, and the city of Calgary issued a notice to the homeowner that a building permit needs to be obtained for an addition to that home that was constructed without a building permit by the previous owner. So client purchased a home, there was a nice addition added to it, no building permits were ever taken out. But the new homeowner didn't have any knowledge of this, bought the home, and now received this notice from Calgary, the city of Calgary, that they need to obtain a building permit. So the actual homeowner in that instance obtained an engineer's report, and that report unfortunately stated that the addition needed to be removed. It wasn't structurally sound. So luckily, the homeowner actually had a homeowner policy and they contacted us. We retained an adjuster to attend the property with a contractor to provide a quote for the demolition of the addition and to see if it was feasible to reconstruct the addition. Based on our information that we received, it wasn't deemed feasible to reconstruct that addition. So we actually then paid for all of the demolition costs so that there was no out of pocket expense to the homeowner. And notably, now that the homeowner lost the addition, which means they lost living square footage in the property, their property value actually would have likely declined. So we actually compensated them for the loss of property value as well because the addition was then demolished. So that's one example of a claim that I like to share because it kind of shows how title insurance really works. The other example that I like to share is in regards to tax and utility arrears because it's a little bit common. It's not a big ticket item, but it is common that it comes up. So again, first-time home buyer couple purchased their new first-time home, moved into a property, and then they received a notice from the city that there was an outstanding tax and water utility charge amounting to just over $2,000. So obviously this was a very unwelcome surprise to the homeowners. Again, because they had the homeowner title insurance policy, we actually covered all of that $2,000 in tax and water utility arrears, and there was no out-of-pocket expense to the homeowners. Now, especially considering first-time homebuyers are scratching to get 5% down payment and are so excited to move into that house, $2,000 unexpected notice from the city can be very detrimental to them. So that's why it's even more important to make sure that title insurance is in place so that you have that peace of mind again.
That's awesome. Those examples are, I find hearing examples really gives you an understanding of what a product is and what it can do. So that's really great. I mean, I have so many other questions with those examples that would take way too long on here. So maybe we can take them off camera. But those are great examples. Thank you so much for those. Um,
Absolutely.
do you have anything else that you'd like to add about title insurance, whether it's the lender policy, whether it's the homeowner's policy, anything that you would like to speak about?
Sure, I'd probably just like to leave your audience with this little tidbit. So, Canadians, I think, as a general population, are starting to educate themselves more than they ever have before. If we look back 3 years ago, the words Title Insurance Canada, and what is title insurance was Googled about 900 times a month. Fast forward to today, those terms are now being Googled 11,000 times a month. So I actually take great comfort knowing that consumers are doing their part and educating themselves about whether title insurance is of importance and value to them. A homeowner policy, and like I said before, is completely separate from that lender policy. And a homeowner needs to add their own homeowner coverage because that lender policy does not cover them whatsoever. A homeowner title insurance policy through FCT has a one-time affordable premium. So just again, unlike traditional insurances that have monthly or annual premiums, title insurance has a one-time affordable premium, and it's usually paid at the time of purchase with the lawyer closing the deal. There are no deductibles on any claims that you make through title insurance, with the exception of encroachments here in Alberta. We have a no fault claims process, which means we're not going on a witch hunt to determine who was responsible for that issue. Again, because we were pioneers in the title insurance industry and we really believe in it and feel that there's a need for it here in Canada, paying claims proves our point. So we really want to pay those claims to show that title insurance is needed. And then the last real benefit for that homeowner policy is that you have protection for as long as you own that home. So as long as your name is listed on title, you have that policy in place, whether it's 10 years or 100 years, it's always in place. So what I always do is I highly recommend or encourage homeowners to have a conversation with their mortgage professional, with their realtor and or their lawyer about title insurance so that they're empowered to make their own educated decision at the end of the day about whether title insurance is a benefit to them. So that's really the only tidbit that I would leave everyone with.
I love that you said that, educating clients to make their own decision. That's one of the things that I try to do all the time is give that education so that the clients can make their own educated decision and they understand why it's to them. So thank you for bringing that point out. And I think this has been really informative. It's been really helpful. I really don't have anything to add. You did a great job to explain the process and what it is, and that the lender policy is for the lender and the homeowner is for the homeowner policy. So if anybody watching this has any questions about the policies and or any questions at all, I still haven't figured out how to answer questions live, so I apologize. So if you pop them on the video, I will make sure that in the comment section, I will make sure that I get back to you, or just feel free to reach out to me. And if I don't have the answers, I'll be hitting up Aly for the answers, so you know that they're going to be coming to you and coming to you correct. So again, Aly, thank you so much for spending this time. Frankie Edgar was behaved and, you know, just sat here giving me kisses. So at least it wasn't barking. So again, thanks everybody. And I look forward to our next one.
Thanks, Lisa.